Alright, so we're level off here at 310. And very smooth so far, it's great. A while ago I spoke about putting a video together that covered the differences between the TBM and the Meridian. And I just haven't got around to it. It's been something that I think I've mentioned a couple times, promising that I would put this video together, and I'm going to dedicate some time to this video, and so I would like to compare them from the perspective of an actual pilot, not on paper as you can find if you went to the website for either the Meridian or the TBM. You can go on the website and look at the numbers and compare numbers on paper, but in actuality,
Wisconsin 6204, call maintain flight level 310.
seeing those numbers is different, right? So real world performance is always usually different than book numbers.
Delta 2239, contact Atlanta Center 133.1.
330 for Charlie Foxtrot.
This class of aircraft is right between the pistons and the jets. And it really offers the best of both worlds.
6204, contact Indy Center 134.67.
When I say the best of both worlds, some people might view the propeller as a disadvantage, but it's a huge advantage for short field landing operations. Then you've got the power and speed of very close to a jet. Well, twin jets. I guess you've got the Cirrus jet, which it is a contender in this space as well. A single engine turbine. It doesn't have a propeller, but it is,
59 of us there.
I believe, is it an 8-seater? 6 or 7 or 8 seats. I'm not sure how usable all the seats are.
888 Hotel Tango bus, Roger.
You've got the Meridian, you've got the TBMs, you've got the new, say the Pilatus. Pilatus is, it's single engine, pressurized, radar, retractable gear, like all that is there, but it's a much bigger, it's truly a cabin class airplane. So it's got more power than the TBM, for sure, but less speed, just because of the sheer size. But it's a very utilitarian aircraft, just like the TBM, but more so, of course. I guess you could put it in the same category, co-pilot certified and so on. And then I guess the latest contender in this space is the Epic. I would more compare the Epic to the TBM than the Pilatus. Similar speed, 6th place, everything else. So there are some compelling aircraft in this space that offer great speeds at, if you want to consider, compared to a jet, at a very economical operating cost, and much faster than your average piston, more capable, get more altitude. So it's a very unique segment, and it's fun to compare the aircraft.
November 174 Charlie Foxtrot, turn 10 degrees to the right.
When I spent some time, I've got experience in the Meridian, getting experience in the TBM as well, not nearly as much experience in the TBM as the Meridian, but decent amount to where I can compare them. I'm very curious about the Epic. It has some impressive numbers, again, on paper. I would love to talk to an Epic owner, especially the E1000 GX, I think it is, the certified version. Seeing them at Oshkosh, sat in the cabin, in the cockpit. Ergonomically, it's very different than the TBM. The TBM is a flat panel, and the Epic has a curved instrument panel that's supposed to be more ergonomic.
Afternoon, American 1631, 50310.
It looks cool. It looks futuristic.
American 1631, that's good
I would love to fly one and just you know, see what it's really like to interact with. But impressive numbers for sure. Flight level 340, and at that altitude, the speeds are not very far off from the TBM, but it's burning a little bit less fuel. So that's also another, you know, compelling aircraft. There are some disadvantages I see to that aircraft. One of the main advantages to the TBM is just that door in the back. The large loading door, we have appreciated that so much more than we thought we would. Also, the pilot door, by kind of a hands down argument on this. The pilot door is just so convenient to enter and exit the aircraft. I wish more aircraft in this segment had a pilot door. If the Epic had the pilot door as well, that would be a very, very cool feature on that airplane. It would really complete it for sure. I mean, it just saves passing through the cabin, especially if you have passengers aboard, waiting for passengers to deplane first and all that. The pilot door is by far one of the most appreciated features of the TBM. And it'd be very hard to go to an aircraft that doesn't have a pilot door, or at least has some kind of ingress and egress access where you don't have to pass through the cabin. So the Pilatus falls in that category. I believe the Vision Jet would. But having a door right here is just, yeah, that's nice.
Number 174, Charlie Foxtrot, got.
Well, the Meridian that I flew is more like the M500, except it has the Avidyne avionics. No, that's, you're talking just over $1 million for one of those right now. You've got the Meridian M500, a new M500 is, I think, I want to say it's around a couple million. I haven't checked prices lately. But then you've got the M600, which is at around 3 million, 3.2 million. Hey guys, sorry about that. I'm trying to remember where I left off, but I just had the GoPro quit because it overheated. As a matter of fact, it overheated and the battery expanded. You can see the top actually separated from the main body. You can squeeze it a little bit and you can feel it's spongy. So that is not a good sign. I quickly removed the battery, not because I thought it got hot, but I just decided to look at it. Still seems like it's fine, just lithium ion, so that's a little scary. Maybe think what I should probably do is, I'm trying to keep the GoPro out of the sun here.
24230 direct SOP.
Should probably have some kind of a battery containment case with me. If something like that was to happen and you had a lithium, especially a lithium battery, run away on you, you could just throw the whole device in this box and lock it. I want to say something like that exists, so probably look at something like that. Anyways, trying to remember where I left off. I think I was talking about different price categories for these aircraft. The M600, I think, is where I left off. So you've got the Meridian, right, which is basically the M500. And it's a great airplane, especially what we did was we sort of transitioned from the Cirrus SR-22 to the Meridian. And it was a great transition because the Cirrus that we were flying was also an Avidyne Cirrus, which made the transition into an Avidyne Meridian a lot easier. The avionics was just not part of, like a major part of the learning process. But we quickly ran into limitations with the Meridian, kind of our first step into the turbine world, and you know, dipping your toes into it. The Meridian seemed like the most sensible choice.
Into center, climb and maintain, flight level 240.
But now looking back, perhaps the best step would have been from the Cirrus to some kind of a TBM, especially with the trips that we were doing back then, the legs. But by no means, I mean, the Meridian was, or is, a great aircraft for sure, but it all depends on your mission. So we started hitting the limitations of the Meridian very early on, and just lived with them, but there were definitely limitations that we picked quite quickly. Back then, they did not have the M600. The M600 came out a few years after we got the Meridian. So even then, with the M600, sure, it has more range, can carry more fuel, and payload is higher. It's still the same size cabin, and it's very interesting that the baggage compartment max
Andy Center, Southwest 368, level 390.
capacity, I believe, is 100 pounds still.
Southwest 368, India Center, good afternoon.
With the full seat configuration.
Center, good afternoon, citation 586, Fox Delta 222 for 230.
No, they increased the gross weight, well, I guess, useful load, but
Yes, sir, good afternoon.
you've still got 100 pounds in the baggage compartment.
226 for 230.
Citation 586.
So, you know, that's interesting.
Good afternoon, climb and maintain.
But honestly, for the money of a M600, you can get a very nice TBM, like an older 850 or, you know, like a later model 700. And you've got much more speed, much more range. I shouldn't say, I'm speaking off the cuff here, I'm not really sure about the numbers, but I want to say the useful load would be higher. But you've got a more capable aircraft, even though it's a little bit older, for, you know, less money than a M600.
Maintain flight level 280, Spar 5.
So above the M600, then you've got your TBM. I guess between the M600 and the TBM, price-wise, would be your Epic, which I think more competes with the TBM than does the M600. But it's going to be interesting to see how that Epic ages. You know, it's a full composite airframe. I've seen other composite airframes as well. I want to say it's the what is it? The Evolution, I believe. Single engine turbine. That's a 4-seater. It's more like a Cirrus with a turbine.
Center 134.27.
I'm going to be careful how I say this, but the paint on some of those that I've seen didn't age the best. There was a bunch of micro cracks that kind of formed, and I wasn't sure if that's in the paint or if that's in the actual fuselage itself. I don't think it's a structural issue. It's very interesting to see, and you know, the TBM is a full aluminum skinned aircraft, whereas the Epic, that's all carbon composite. So it's going to be interesting to see how that aircraft and airframe ages. It's going to be interesting. I haven't flown the M600, but it has a redesigned wing, control surfaces, flaps, all that is redesigned, as well as the landing gear, I think the main landing gear. But there's a big difference from the Meridian and M500, I would say, to the TBM in terms of handling characteristics, how it feels. You can just tell the TBM is built strong. It's built very much like a tank. And I would say after flying a little bit in the Phenom, the TBM flies much more like a Phenom than it does like the Meridian in terms of the handling. And after being to the TBM factory and seeing how these TBMs are built, the build is very similar, I'd say, to a jet, more so than the Meridian.
Southwest 36, 32.
And you can feel it. You can feel it in bumps, like a little bit of turbulence. The TBM is solid. It's quite a solid airframe. So it'd be interesting to see how that compares to an all-composite airframe like the Epic.
A Vision Jet at 300, maintain flight level 310.
Oh, I just heard the Vision Jet on the radio.
Vision Jet 2, Juliet.
It's another one, you know, that's carbon, but it's composite. It's interesting to see how that ages as well.
Okay, yeah, we're looking for 292 Juliet Papa.
I've looked at the Cirruses, and you can find older Cirruses with great paint jobs. I mean, the paint job is still in good condition. But looking at the Epic, no, not the Epic, sorry, the Evolution. The Evolution is a pressurized cabin, so that's a little different than the Cirrus. Your SR-22, SR-20s are not pressurized, so you don't have those forces on the airframe causing it to expand and contract. So the Epic being pressurized and you know, composite airframe, it's going to be interesting to see how that ages. And the same would be said with the Vision Jet as well.
Center Meridian 1963-310.
Here we are at flight level 310, currently burning 55 gallons per hour. We are sitting at around 320 knots, true. I'll turn the camera around, you can see. Got about 35 minutes left in the flight. Got the GoPro here on the dash. I'm sitting in a little bit of shade here, and it seems we're doing okay. Again, I'm going to compare the TBM from a pilot's perspective, talk about the things that you wouldn't really talk about the things that you would not find on the website. For example, how can this aircraft fly, you know, at 320 knots, 330 knots, depending, true airspeed, carry so much more weight. It's a very aerodynamic wing without any VGs. The Meridian and the M500 has VGs on the wing and the horizontal stabilizer. I want to say that the M600's wing does not have VGs. The TBM does not have VGs. Yeah, you can slow this thing down to, you know, between 80 and 85 knots on approach. And still have great aileron authority at those speeds. How does it achieve that, you know? So we can go over things like that, how it achieves that with the flaps and where they have the ailerons placed and the spoilers for the ailerons as well, and how that all works. How is it that the TBM has a lot more
Number 2, Juliet Papa.
capacity in the baggage, the rear baggage compartment? As a matter of fact, the TBM has a front baggage compartment as well that can carry more weight than the rear baggage compartment in the Meridian in its full seat configuration.
For flight 962, contact India Center 133.42.
3342 for flight 962, good day.
Good day.
Indy Center, for flight 962, 310.
For flight 962, Indy Center, roger, scattered light shot.
Okay. Maybe that's a video for on the ground where we can look at the TBM and open it up and just walk around it and talk about it. last weekend, Elkhart had an air show. It was pretty cool. I believe it's the first air show they've had in the last 16 or 17 years. It's more centered around warbirds. They had, you know, DC-3s, Texans, World War II aircraft and fighters. It's really cool to see.
JetBlue 1774
as well as a few stunt planes. There was a pit special there.
Great day, JetBlue 1774.
A great show. It made me think about the possibility of a TBM demonstration team. In North America, the TBM is not known as a military aircraft, but in France it is. The French Air Force uses TBMs, especially the 700s, for training missions and just different missions. So I guess in some part of the world it is a military aircraft. But I think it'd be neat to have a TBM demonstration team. I was saying for aerobatics, like right here on the door, what does it say? Inverted flight prohibited, acrobatic maneuvers prohibited, intentional spins prohibited. I'm not saying, you know, doing anything acrobatic per se. It'd be kind of neat to do, you know, formation flight, for example, or just some light demonstrations in a TBM. It's a pretty cool aircraft. It'd be kind of neat. But yeah, the air show was great, you know, local air show, and it was a lot of people, great weather. Indy Center, 45962 leveling off 300.
45962 Indy Center, roger, descend and maintain flight level 230.
Okay, descend 230 for flight 962. They're starting me down super early here, and it's likely because of the traffic into O'Hare.
Delta 13-0.
Now the step from the Cirrus to the Meridian is a very logical step.
Delta 1230.
You know, you're talking like, I believe the Cirrus is around 175, 178 knots. You're jumping from that to 250 knots in the Meridian. And, you know, that's a good 70 knot increase. If you were going to the M600, that's even greater, you know, like 80 knot increase over your Cirrus speed. Now from the Meridian to the TBM, you're talking about another 60 knots or so, which is a amazing increase in performance. Now, where do you go from there, right? Like above the TBM, if you want to see another 60 knots, you know, like you're looking around 390 to 400 knots. Let's just say 390 knots. What airplanes give you that performance? Well, you're looking at something like an M2 or greater, like a Cessna Citation M2 or greater. You could look at a Phenom 100, but some of the earlier models, like the first gen Phenom 100s, I believe they drew around 360 knots. So that's like a 30 to 40 knot increase over a TBM, but you're burning twice as much fuel. So the jump is not that great. It doesn't have the range as a TBM. So if you're doing anything in terms of distance, the TBM is likely going to beat you because it doesn't have to stop. Whereas the Phenom is going to require a fuel stop, especially if you're taking passengers. I believe
6404, contact Kansas City.
If I take 2 or 3, maybe 2 passengers in the Phenom with full fuel, anything beyond that, now you're taking fuel off. At least in the first generation Phenoms. I think it gets better with the E and the EV. But you're still you're still limited there. I believe the max range is 1,000, 1,178, maybe almost 1,200 miles in the Phenoms.
American 1411, contact Kansas City Center 135.05.
So to get the same jump in performance in a jet over a TBM, you've really got to, you know, but then you're compromising something, because even like the M2, I want to say the TBM, I need to look at the numbers again, but I believe the TBM will carry more. It has a better useful load, so.
Legion 426, Indy Center, climb maintain, flight level 230.
I maintain flight level 230, Legion 426.
Polar 315, climb maintain, flight level 320.
TBM is quite an amazing all-round aircraft, and in the grand scheme of things, it is very efficient and economical to operate. For, you know, the speeds that you get out of it and the performance, it's amazing.
200, starting to pick up some light to moderate chop.
Picture 4373, Indy Center, welcome.
Now with anything, you're going to have some kind of a compromise or some limitation you're going to run into. But with the TBM, it's...
Full flight 962, contact Chicago Center 120.907.
2097 and 4 flight 962 today.
1000. 17 for 1000, hotel office.
Chicago, 4 flight 962, 250, descending 230. Okay, we just got discretion 11,000. Weather Elkhart is pretty nice. Winds are out of the east at 100, 10 knots, or 7 knots, I believe, actually. So, I'm gonna pick runway 9 if I can. Runway 09, which helps us because we're going to exit on the at the end of the runway on the right. That's the plan. Which means I don't have to use brakes. And with a TBM, not using brakes is a good thing. The brakes are very expensive to repair or replace on the TBM, and so use brakes very, very sparingly. But one nice thing about having reverse and beta is that on the ground you can control your speed without need for using the brakes a whole lot. So that works out well. We've got the weather. Based on the weather, I have a plan on what I'm going to do, which runway I'm going to land on. I already know where I'm exiting on the runway. Everything looks good. We've got about 3 more minutes until our top of descent.
4 flight 962, start your descent. I got to get all their traffic down, reference you.
Here we go. Okay, we'll start down now, 4 flight 962.
4 flight 962, clear direct Elkhart Airport.
Clear direct Elkhart Airport, 4 flight 962.
November 10600, descend and maintain for level 230.
Go ahead and activate the VNAV now, and let's go direct to the airport.
Flight 962, southbound approach, southbound altimeter 3033, and weather is available at the Elkhart Airport. Let me know when you have it. You expect a visual approach. Descend and maintain 7,000.
Okay, 3033, we have the weather at Elkhart. Expect the visual, and down to 7,000 for flight 962.
Sirius 4 Alpha X-ray, descend and maintain 4,000.
There's 12,300 descending. Make sure we're below 250 as we cross 10,000.
Thank you. 4 flight 962, which runway are you planning on landing on at Elkhart today?
We're planning on runway 9, 4 flight 962.
Thank you.
There's 10,300. We're at 240 knots. Let's slow it down here a bit.
Sirius 4 Alpha X-ray, descend and maintain 3,000. 45962, descend and maintain 5,000.
Descend to 5,000, 45962.
45962, descend and maintain 4,000.
Descend to 4,000, 45962.
Blue Street 5189, contact Chicago Center 134.87. Sirius 4 Alpha X-ray, stop in airport 1 o'clock, 10 miles. Sirius 4 Alpha X-ray, cleared visual approach for 199er right. And you do have the antenna farm, you're currently over, highest altitude is 1,949 feet. So cleared visual approach for 199er right and contact tower 135.67. Flight 962, turn left direct to Elkhart, descend and maintain 2,500.
Left at Elkhart, 2,500, 4 flight 962.
Vertical track.
Bonanza, Christian Barron, 16 Delta, contact for Chris, disregard, contact Great Lakes approach 121.2 for 16 Delta. Good day.
All right, let's slow it down quite a bit more here.
45922, Mindry altitude, maintain 4,000, traffic at your 11 o'clock and 5 miles east on gets 3,200, maintain 4,000.
Maintain 4,000, looking for traffic, 45962. Inertial separator is coming on. We have our pulse lights on. Traffic 11 o'clock. Take a look here at our tests. 4,300. Leveling off at 4,000. Inertial separator is turned on. That's good. The Elkhart Airport in sight. That traffic is right below us and behind us now.
Number 721 Alpha Tango, stop and approach. Are you up? 45962 traffic, no factor. Descend and maintain 2,500. Elkhart Airport, 12 o'clock, 10 miles.
Descend 2,500 airport in sight, 4 flight 962.
Flight 962, clear visual approach at the Elkhart Airport. Contact Elkhart Tower 100.5. Good day.
Clear for the visual at Elkhart, Tower 19.5, 4 flight 962. Good day. Tower 4 flight 962 is with you for the visual at Elkhart, requesting the visual runway 9.
4 flight 962, you should have the clearance for the visual, is that correct?
Affirmative, 4 flight 962.
4 flight 962, thanks. Runway 9 cleared to land, 1070 at 12.
Runway 9 cleared to land, 4 flight 962. Thermal activity right now. We're cleared to land. Over control here. Put the dampener back on.
This is 4 Delta 5 short taxi runway 9 via Bravo, when is 060 at 12, altimeter 3034.
A Gippy check. Air. Low gear speed. Down. Three green lights. Inertial separator is on. Flaps to takeoff position. And yaw dampener is next. The runway in sight. Make sure we stay within the Elkhart airspace. Altimeters are set. Landing light is on. We're still clear to land.
Tower, go Eagle 214, Delta Fox, rolling up 9er, Bravo 6, we'll be ready.
Well, it's quite bumpy up here.
Eagle 4 Delta Fox up 2, but hold short runway 9 for landing traffic.
Hold short 9er, 4 Delta Fox.
I'll dampen our disconnect on the rudder pedals. Flaps. So Giphy checks complete. Air inertial separator, flaps, yaw dampener.
$500.
Cessna 4 Delta Fox, runway 9, line up and wait.
Line up and wait, 9er, 4 Delta Fox.
Airspeed.
Flight 962 all the way to the end to be a right turn at the end. Taxi to Indiana Flight Center in this frequency.
A right turn at the end with you to Indiana Flight Center, profile 962. Well, thanks everyone for joining on this flight. It's a short flight. It's an hour and a half. But we're here safely on the ground. Gonna go ahead and taxi to the hangar, get this thing shut down and put away. Oh, there's a nice Cirrus out there. Hill World
Delta Foxtrot, call departure. So,
information from a pilot's perspective on the TBM and the Meridian, and also talk about some of the other airplanes in S class, as well as maybe potential jet. Like there's a Citation Mustang. Anyways, thanks for joining, and we'll talk to you guys again on the next one.